בשם השם נעשה ונצליח, והנה עם אדוני אלוהינו עלינו מעשה ידינו כל נעלה עלינו מעשה ידינו כל נענהו. We were learning Sefer Amidot, Rabbi Nachman from BRESLOV, about money, Mammon. Okay, let's see where we stopped. Amalve beribit, yeah, we spoke about someone that give interest. That it's a problem. Okay. מי שאין לו פרנסה יעסוק בתורה ואחר כך יתפלל על פרנסה ובוודאי יתקבל תפילתו. Rabbi Nachman says, if you don't have good income, what can you do to make it better? So he says, learn Torah. Let's say wake up in the morning, learn Torah before, then pray and ask for parnasa. Ask for it. And the Torah and the prayer that's coming together, one after the other, has such a power to make sure that your prayer will be accepted and you will get, B'ezrat Hashem, good income. So we see it in a lot of places that when you just pray, it's one thing, but when you learn Torah before prayer, that's a whole different level. The Torah before prayer is kind of opening the gates, setting the way for the prayer to be accepted. You also can pay attention that when you pray after learning, the prayer is a lot more strong. You feel it better. That's why in Chabad, for example, they pray late usually. A lot of people ask, why Chabad pray late? It's not good to pray late. I also asked that once. And then someone showed me a ma'amar of Rabbi Milubavitch, the last Rabbi, that he says that the reason he was even encouraging them to pray late is not to wake up late. He's against wake up late. He was for waking up very early, so you learn Torah before prayer, then your prayer is in a different level. And he says, Rabbi Nachman here, that your prayer will be accepted 100% when there's Torah before. So that's why if someone comes to you and complains that he doesn't have income, he doesn't have a job or whatever, he wants a job, tell him first of all, tzaddik, you have a recipe. Wake up in the morning, learn Torah, and then right away pray and ask for parnasa, ask for income. You cannot do it in the morning, do it in the afternoon. But always learning before prayer. Exactly.
Many people have the habit of doing Torah after the prayer.
That's also good.
But not as good as before.
That's also good. I'll tell you something that Chida, Rabbi Chaim Yosef David Azulai say, that when we put tefillin, we get our soul. Now there is few levels of the soul that we get. And he says the highest level of soul, neshama, shel neshama, a man doesn't get it unless he is learning with the tefillin after prayer. So it's good to leave the tefillin after prayer for a little bit and learn. That's why I think it's a very good custom what they do in a lot of synagogues, also in our synagogue they do it, that right before Alenu Leshabeach, the end of the prayer, we say at least 2 halachot, words of Torah. So you say it together with the tefillin and you will receive this very high level of soul that morning.
We do it here also.
Yeah, I'm saying. We do it. Yeah, I just did it now.
Yeah, we get. No, I know. I attend your place.
Baruch Hashem.
And upstairs too.
So, this is the recipe. You have a little bit of a hard time with parnasa, with income, try this one. Learn Torah, then pray for parnasa. Don't just pray to Hashem without learning before. Now, let's say you want to pray now, you have a time, you have a break from work or whatever, you are in a certain time, sometimes in the car, sometimes at home, you have a little bit of time, you want to pray for income, for parnasa, in your own words. Prayer doesn't need to have text. You can Pray in your own
Just
words.
simply ask.
So take a Mishnah or a Gemara or a Zohar or something, learn something before, and then pray. That's gonna be the best way, and you will see that your prayers will be accepted, B'ezrat Hashem. So that's the advice of Rabbi Nachman in BRESLOV in this area. He learns it from a Gemara, from a Talmud in Masechet Sotah 49. It says there, Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Rabbi Chia. Wow, he was a big tzaddik, by the way. He's buried in Tveria. כל תלמיד חכם העוסק בתורה מתוך הדחק תפילתו נשמעת. כי אם בצדיון של בחור תבכה, נתן אדוני לכם לחם צר במים לחץ. Yeah, so he says, when you learn Torah and then you pray, your prayer is accepted. They learn from that Gemara. 98, צדיק ח' אין לאדם למכור מקחו הראשון. Oh, we said that. We said that a person shouldn't sell his first property. He says it's not a good mazal, it's not a good luck to sell your first property. And sometimes you have to do that. But if you can leave your first property and to not sell it, that's better. With your second, third, those things, it's fine. Do business with that. But first property has your mazal, has your luck. It's not always good to sell it. That's what Rashi says.
Regardless if you live in it or not.
Yeah. Yeah. לא יבוא שום אחד להזיק את חברו אם לא מגאוות ליבו. Says Rabbi Nachman, he brings a Gemara in Kiddushin. He says, לא יבוא שום אחד ליגח את רעהו ולהרע לו אם לא מגאוות ליבו. He says, when you want to, חס ושלום, do damage to another Jew, financial damage, it comes because of your ego. It comes because of your pride or your ego. That you want to feel better than him. That you can't stand that he is successful or you're not successful. So he says that's very, very, very important. A person that wants blessing in parnasa and income, you should always be careful to not damage other people's parnasa. And even not just not damaging, we should even help them to do parnasa. Knowing that all the money comes from God. And the blessing that you need to get, you will get regardless. Doesn't matter what happened. Nobody can take a penny from you unless it's decided in heaven. And this is every person that does business, he has to remember this rule every day. That whatever yours is yours. And even if someone opens the same store or does the same thing that you do, he cannot take a penny from you. Chafetz Chaim was one of the great people that actually lived like this. There is a story about him. He had a convenience store. Sells basic things for people. First of all, he was such a believer. He opens his store in the morning right after prayer. He waits until people come, buy whatever they need. When he sees that he has enough for today, he closes the store, goes to learn. Now everybody knew that, so they were always coming early because they knew it's gonna be closed, So they all came. For him, it was very convenient because everybody came at the same time, and they buy the money. And you close early. And recently I came back to Toronto after not being here for a long time, and I saw that a lot of things changed here. One of the things that changed here is in the restaurants. People, like restaurants that were open till 10, now they open till 7. 7 they close. Some of them 6. I went to a restaurant not long ago with my wife, And I went there and I asked them, what time you close? I went for a breakfast. They say we close at 4.
4 o'clock.
Yeah. And what time you open? I open at 8, 9.
Maybe it's specifically a breakfast.
Yeah.
restaurant.
So I said, but so it's such a short time to make. But I was happy. Why? Look, they have emunah. They believe that Kadosh Baruch Hu will give me in this short time. He will give me my money. And it's like this. I was in Miami, not Miami, in Los Angeles. We went there to do classes and things. So we wanted to eat a breakfast. So one of my family members that lives there, he told me, you should try this restaurant. I came to one restaurant. It was mamash beside the synagogue. After Shacharit, I came with my wife. We went to sit in the restaurant. Packed restaurant. Very good food. They close at 2. Open at 8, 9, close at 2. I spoke to the owner. I told him, listen, are you serious? You close at 2? Like, why? Stay more. It's enough for me. Tzaddik. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will make my money at that time. This emunah. And it's working. Packed restaurant. He makes what people open until 10. He makes it till 2. Why? Emunah, belief. He believes whatever minds his mind, like Chafetz Chaim. And Baruch Hashem, Hashem gives him. This is something we should always, it's like a muscle, strengthen ourselves in.
And he uses the balance time to go and pray.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah. No, he goes. I mean, I don't know, not going, praying. We have times for prayer, but he goes to his chavruta, he has learning, he has other things to do.
Yeah, that is important, right?
Yeah.
That's how Hashem works.
Yeah, he has another business during the night. Also, he told me, but it's nice to see such a thing. This is the way I look at them. So they do it out of emunah, out of faith. That Baruch Hashem, God will give me whatever I need. That little time. Arizal was working only once a week. He was working on Tuesday. Arizal says that Tuesday is the best day for work. Because God created the growings on Tuesday. Everything grows on Tuesday. So Tuesday, we made a whole class about it once. Here with our group. And that we said that Tuesday is the best day for business. If you can manage to put all your important meetings and whatever you want to start in business for Tuesday, that's going to be blessed.
Or start a new job.
Yeah. Every Tuesday is the best. Ariza was working on Tuesday. Sometimes on Wednesday. Tuesday was, but not other day. Now, how you make a living? First of all, he didn't need much. He was a very simple man. Second of all, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I make my effort. I'm not like saying, okay, I'm not working at all, which is not good. A person needs to work. God wants us to work. He wants us to go into the physical world and work with the physical world. We're fixing things. We're doing birur nitzotzot. We're elevating things. But it doesn't mean that you have to work the whole week to 24/7. So Arizal, he had such a big emunah, such a big faith. But for us, each one in his level needs to see, okay, whatever, I need to work in certain time. You got enough? Fine. Go spend your time with more important things. Like spiritual growth, family. Because whatever yours is yours. So this is something you need to know, that if whatever yours is yours, nobody can damage you. Nobody can take your parnasa. And if you took my parnasa, it means it's not mine. That's the way we should that should be our view on life. What? Yeah.
What happened to him is when the king married his daughter, he needed a tailor that know how to, those little kaftorim.
Yeah.
So they sent the shaliach to him. He said, I'm sorry. I made my day already today. I have to learn Torah.
Yeah.
I'm not working anymore. So he went and tell the king. He said he's finished. He said, tell him if not going to do it, I'm going to throw him to the pit of the Arayot.
The lions,
He
yeah.
came again. He said, I'm sorry. So they brought him. He said, okay. They're going to kill him, right? So he gave him 1 week and they all called Yehudim, dressed white, everything. Zarkut, some of them, they put him inside the Arayot. And the king told the guys, you probably know the story, don't give them food 1 week. So when he walked in, the Arayot stood up with the tail doing like this. And then when he was learning Torah, all the Arayot was being around him like this, and he was learning. So the guy from after the Arab saw it, he couldn't believe it. They went to tell the king, I can't believe it. Look what happened over there.
The lions didn't do anything to him.
God,
Yeah.
they can take him out fast.
יפה. So yeah, this is Or HaChaim HaKadosh. He lived a miraculous life, miracles every day. But yeah, like he said, I'm working from this time to this time. That's it. I believe that if I need to get money, I'll get it from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Actually, I was in Bnei Brak a few months ago, and I needed to buy a cover for a Sefer Torah that we make. And in Bnei Brak, they have a very interesting custom. From 2 to 4, they close.
Siesta.
They close.
Siesta.
They go sleep. They go.
Siesta. Call it a siesta.
Yeah, 2 to 4, everybody is. Okay, so I forgot about it. I knew this, but I forgot. That was the only time I could go to Bnei Brak. So I went to Bnei Brak. It was like, I don't know, 2:30, something like that. Rabbi Akiva. So I'm getting into the store. The people are in the store, but it's closed. So I came with a friend. So I told him, knock the door, tell them to open because I came from Canada. I'm not gonna be here anymore, and I want to buy. I don't want to buy a cheap thing. It's something like 20,000-30,000 shekels. It's a good.
Wow.
It's a good money for them. So I told them, knock the door and tell them that we want to make a deal of like few tens of thousands of shekels. He told them, and they said, no, we closed. I said, you see, emunah. This, I don't know. He said, well, yeah, could be also chutzpah, but he says, money will not buy me. If I know that I need to get the money, I'll get the money. They didn't open the store. So I tried to not look bad at them, like, hey, listen, okay, I went to someone else. They lost it. They didn't lose it because they're going to get it somewhere. They're going to get it somewhere else. But when you live like this, it's also a peaceful life. Like, I know God will give me whatever I need. So if I decided right now I'm with the family, I don't answer the phone. So doesn't matter. 1 million deal phone call, I won't answer because I'm with the family right now. This is emunah. This is like faith that I know that whatever is mine is mine. Nobody can take it from me. It's a higher level, but we have to stream to get there.
I think the key, Rabbi, is to say that this is all I need. And that's what Hashem will give me. The difficulty is saying that. Everybody says, no, I need little more. That's how the problem comes. You never say, okay, this is all I need.
Yeah. By the way, when you live like this, it's the law of attraction. You actually attract more money.
Yeah. You said that. Money runs after people who ignore it.
Money runs after people who doesn't run after money. So that's very important. Okay. Says Rabbi Nachman, says Rabbi Nachman, נשירה קשה לעניותה. Rabbi Nachman says that one of the things that can cause a person lose his money and even become chas v'shalom poor is breadcrumbs. What does that mean? The Gemara says that if you disrespect the bread, the angel of poorness, yeah, that's how you say it, poorness?
Poverty.
Poverty. Thank you. The angel of poverty runs after you. He gets a permission to damage you when you disrespect bread. That's why Judaism is very into respecting the bread. Only we have one exception, Pesach, that we have to get rid of the bread. But this is the different system. Why? But all the year round, bread has a very, very high position in Judaism. We use it for every special occasion, important occasion like Shabbat, Chagim. We have to eat bread in different happy occasions like Brit Milah and wedding. There is mamash an obligation to eat bread. For example, in wedding, B'ezrat Hashem, your wedding soon, the Chatan and the Kala, they are obligated to eat bread in the wedding. If they didn't eat bread in the wedding, the people cannot make Sheva Brachot, the 7 blessings that we need to recite. If the Chatan and the Kala didn't eat bread, there's no Sheva Brachot. It's important. It's a part of the ceremony. So bread has a very important role in Judaism. When you disrespect the bread, it's very bad.
When you say disrespect, exactly what you mean?
So, for example,
crumbs falling on the
crumbs falling on the floor and people
stamping on it. Yes.
So, if you want to have a blessing, you should teach your the people in your house that when they see, first of all, when they see bread on the floor right away, you pick it up. Some people even kiss it. But even when there's crumbs, right away, try to clean it. To make sure there's no crumb. There is a good minhag, there's a good custom that is a sgula for parnasa, for good income. On Shabbat, when we cut the bread, so there's crumbs falling. So there's a minhag to take those crumbs and to give it to people as a sign of blessing for parnasa. And they take it and they eat a little bit. I do it in my house. All the kids always, I tell them, who wants parnasa? The kids coming one after that, I give them crumbs in their mouth. They like it, For them, it's like, but also to other people. Even my parents, when they come to me, to my house, says, Abba, you want parnasa? Yes, baksha. I give them a little bit crumbs from the challah. I give everybody a little bit crumbs from the challah. Even if they don't eat it. If they eat it, it's even better. But even if it's in their plate, it's good. Why? Because it's gonna... why is it a sgula for parnasa? Because usually crumbs, you throw it to the garbage. But when you use it, it means you respect the bread. Even the crumbs I eat. Or even if you don't eat it, it's in your plate, it's gonna mix with other food and then you're gonna eat it at the end. Right? So you don't throw it away. This is a good thing.
I know people who take...
כן, זה מה שאמרנו.
I know people who take the crumbs from Shabbat, challah, put it in a plastic and carry it with them.
Carry it with them. Yeah. Could be that this is even a...
I heard about a story about a Holocaust survivor. At that time they didn't have bread, right?
Right.
So they had maybe one piece of bread and they used to say Torah on that, and then that bread itself will come to keep with them, and they survived.
Wow.
And they never had a problem about food.
About food, right. Wow. Chazak. So that's why we should respect the bread, and when we respect the bread, we respect even the crumbs. There's a famous story in the Yerushalmi, it's also a Talmud, but it's a Talmud that was written in Jerusalem. The Babylonian Talmud, which is the more known Talmud, was written in Babylon, in Iraq. And the Yerushalmi Talmud was written at the same time. Rabbi Yochanan wrote it. Was in Yerushalayim. And the Yerushalmi Talmud writes a story about one Chassid that one day he was sitting on a grass which is right by the river, and he was eating his lunch. He had a break from work, he was eating his lunch, like bread, and this bread did a lot of crumbs, and the crumbs fell inside the grass. And the Gemara says that the angel of poverty was there, and he was very happy because he said, oh, look at that guy, that his disrespecting the bread. Now he puts it there, and then people will come and go there, and they will step on it, and then I'm allowed to damage his income. That's what that angel was thinking. So he was happy. So he finished, did Birkat Hamazon. He stood up. The angel was already happy. That's it. I got him. What happened? He took all the grass out. So the crumbs will, and he threw it to the
Birds.
to the river, to the fish or whatever, to the river. So nobody will step on that. And then the angel, the Gemara says, "Oh, I missed the guy. I missed the guy." You know. So that's you see, mamash. This is what happens.
So how do you, if you see in your house that even in spite of taking care that the crumbs have fallen down, you can eat it when one of them pick it up, or can you kind of vacuum it and put it in the garbage?
Yes.
You can do
So
that, right?
you can. Nobody's gonna eat it after it was on the floor.
Maybe not. Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. You respecting it in this case is taking it, putting it in a bag, and gently put it in the garbage.
I have a friend who picks it up and then goes on the deck and puts it for the birds to eat.
That's also
Permitted,
something. Yeah. Rabbi Chaim Palaji brings his gula for someone that is sick. He says that sick people, they should give food to animals, and this is sgula to get healthy, to heal. And why? And he says it works because we don't have an obligation to feed animals. They're not ours. That's like street animals, birds, cats. They're not ours. But if you do so, means you feed the ones that you're not in charge. So he says, now God says, oh, you have mercy on them, and you're not obligated. So even you don't deserve, I will have mercy on you, God says, and I will heal you. That's why Rabbi Chaim Palaji says one of the ways for people that feel sick, doesn't matter what disease, what sickness, to be careful as much as they can to give food for birds, for street animals, and that will wake up certain blessings, certain a blessing of healing. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, we have a few minutes. עשיר הוא בחינת זכר ועני הוא בחינת נקבה. Oh. Says Rabbi Nachman, a rich person, he is called male in the spiritual world. And the poor person, he is being called a female in the spiritual world. What does that mean? Who gives to who, right? The rich person needs to give to the poor person. So in general in life, God created men and women. Man, his role is to give. That's why the world feels it. You know, usually you ask any woman who needs to buy presents, the wife to the husband or the husband to the wife. You know, who is obligated to bring money and to sponsor and to support. Yeah.
Right.
Even in a divorce, who's giving the support? You don't hear about there is something called spousal support.
Alimony.
Yeah, so it's very, very rare to hear that the women is paying.
Alimony.
Yeah, it's not. Maybe it happens today in our world, but usually it's not. Why? God created him as a giver and her as more of a receiver. She's also giving, but after she receiving, right? That's why God created them in this way. And because in the upper world there is two energies. There is the energy of the male and there's the energy of the female. Right. The giver and the receiver. Also us, if we look at us, the nation of Israel or the whole world, compared to God, God is the giver, we are the receiver. But the rich person, compared to the poor person, he is the male, he is the giver, and the poor person, he is the receiver. Right? So why does Rabbi Nachman says that? Because Be'emet here, all the blessing of income is hinted. How? All what God do is measure on measure. That's how God rules the world. Measure on measure. Whatever you do, basically your actions are affecting the spiritual worlds, and then from the spiritual worlds, it's gonna come back to you in the same way you did. That's, by the way, the secret of the Magen David, our symbol, the David star. What is the David star? Why is it two triangles, one upside the other? Because the first triangle symbolizes the earth, which is we. And whatever we do here, any action, affects the upper worlds. And then whatever you sent up there, it comes down back to you. Yeah? Interesting. Yeah, we wear the Magen David, but we don't understand what it symbolizes. That's one of the things. Yeah.
אבל דוד המלך משהו אחר. למה הוא היה לו על הזה שלו, על המגן,
No.
היה לו המגן דוד. מה זה מגן דוד? זה מגן שהגן עליו שיצא למלחמה.
Yeah, it was protecting him. He used to put it also when he was going to war. But what it symbolized? Why triangles? Why not like Audi? Go make a few circles. This is gonna be the. There's a reason for that. So this is one of the explanations. So the point is that whatever you do in this world affects the upper worlds and come back to you. So if you do good, for example, if in this world you are rich, you have money. Okay, you don't have to be a millionaire to be rich. It depends who we compare you to. You can have only $1,000 in your bank account, but there's someone here that has only $10. So compared to him, you're rich. So if you take from yours and you give it to him, you sponsor him, you support him. So basically, you are doing the job of a male, and he is getting a job of a female. So this, whatever you did, God says, measure and measure. Now I have to do it towards you, because I am the male, says God, and you are the female. So you gave to the female according to you, I'll give to the female according to me, which is you. So you get blessing. That's why when you give donation, you get it back, because God says, I have to work according to the system I created, measure and measure. You gave to the female, I have to give to you, which is the female. And the more you give, the more you get. This is the Magen David. This is what happens. And this is, by the way, also, we spoke about it a few months ago, that the Gemara saying, Rabbi NACHMAN brings it down, that if you support your wife, you make her happy, and you buy things for her, and you spend money on her, that's a zgula. This opens your luck to be rich. How does it work? Same thing, because she's the receiver and you're the giver, and if you do your job as a giver, God says measure and measure. Now I have to do my job, same to you. But if you don't give to the poor or to your wife or to anyone that is compared to you a female, God will also cut from the shefa, from the blessing that He gives to you as His female. Okay. Oh, this is very important. We'll finish with that. לכל הדברים הן חוכמה הן עושר או בנים, צריך עסק בדרך הטבע. Anything, wisdom, wealth, kids, says Rabbi NACHMAN, it needs to be coming to you through a certain effort. God created a system that those things, especially wisdom, wealth, and kids, you don't just get it. You get it when you give and you do something as creating a vessel for that energy and blessing to come. That's why, according to what he says, you have to do something. You have to do an effort. You have to do a work. You have to do something so you get wealth. You have to do something so you get kids. You have to do something so you get wisdom. You cannot just sit, not do anything, and you become a very smart man. No, it has to come with a work,
Effort.
with an effort. That's a rule in the world that God created. That's why people that work, they get. Now, they don't get because if you work, you get. Work doesn't bring money. God brings money. Just God wants you to work. So when you listen to God and you do an effort, so God says, okay, I'll send you money. Understand? That's how it works. Okay. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen.